Well, let's see who's up today. Oh, there's Tammy. I don't think she went to sleep. Family, Tammy doesn't sleep. That would be silly. Let's see. Let me put in the links that I'm going to talk about today. One on jobs, one on Doge, one on utility grants, one on rent grants. Lots of good stuff today and there's links here that I'll put in Let's Go Help for members and for those that are eavesdropping from YouTube. We'll give you the links too. Actually, I would do all this for free, but got to pay rent and all this other stuff that we all have to take care of living in America. So we got to pay those bills. So that's why we charge $20 if you want more help. That's really what it boils down to. Let's see. Okay, so it's $20 a month, unlimited free help to apply to every government program you're eligible for. So that's what we do at Let's Go Help. Okay. And we got a lot of new members because we had a special where we offered 5 days of help for only $5. Oh no, for $1. So that's $1 for 5 days. Boy, I screw up so much. That's when I try to do two things at once. Both of them get screwed up. So if you want unlimited help from members, and actually it's members that help people more than I do. And that to me is the beauty of what we have, is that we have 25,000 people that help each other. Okay, so we're all here helping each other, trying to find the government help and nonprofit organizations that are out there to help us succeed in life. Not only succeed, but also get out of financial trouble. So if you're in financial trouble or you're looking for money to do things in life, that's what we're about. We show you money because you can't find it in Google. Google is all for capitalists. So if you have money, then you can get help in Google. If you don't have money, you can't get help in Google, okay? So don't try to use Google to solve financial problems because it's just going to cost you money. And what we do is show you the alternative. And the alternative is very, very big. So there's like 600,000 to 800,000 is my estimate, and I've been studying this for 50 years. So that's not a bad estimate. That's not just out of my butt or anything. Any rental assistance in Los Angeles County, I've exhausted all and no help. Yes, actually I was just going to do like for rental assistance. Now here's what I found, a new program in Oregon. Doge, no, not Doge, utility, free legal help. Oh yes, to stop evictions in Oregon, they just passed a new law to give a couple $100 million to people who can't pay their rent. But what's more important about this program that where you can't pay your rent is they give you free legal help. Okay, now that's what you should know more than anything. The fact that you could get free legal help to stop your eviction. So you're afraid to pay your rent? The first thing you should do is contact your local free legal help. And that's, you could go to Just, Shelter, SHELTER. Go there, please go there if you're having trouble paying your rent and to learn your rights to not have to pay rent if you don't have it, okay? And then, see now this study says in Oregon, now this is in Oregon, so they pass more because, you know, middle-class people, in other words, evictions are going up. So evictions are going up, and this is for Oregon, but there's 27,000 evictions in 2024, and they're going higher in 2025. And that's why, because the high demand for apartments and the stagnant wages. The reason people can't get money and help to live nowadays is because wages aren't going anywhere. They haven't gone anywhere for 45 years now. The rich people wages went up. the country grows up, but it's only growing the rich. And that's 90% of the people that are left behind. So the top 10% are doing well. So what you have to realize is that it's not something, that you're doing wrong or whatever. It's the general mood of what the country's doing. And they're trying to give all the money to the people who own the companies and not the people who work there. And you can see that in the data. I've shown that graph so many times. I hate to put it up again because I show it too much. And so we're creating poor people and people with low income. So you're working. That's why people say, we want to get people off welfare because they're not contributing. No, I mean, half the people who are getting food stamps are working. And it's the same with Medicaid. I mean, what's going on in Congress now, they want to cut out the freeloaders. Well, to me, the freeloaders are the people who are getting all the profits from our country. And we all contribute, so it seems like we should share a little more. Okay, now here in Oregon, it says 1 in 4 households in Oregon spend as much as 50% on rent. So you should only spend 30%. But 1 in 4, that means 25% of people are paying 50% of their income is going to rent. So they're vulnerable. The average monthly eviction in 2024 was $2,500. And the average raise in monthly average, that number is raising to $2,400. So more and more are claiming. Now here's the important thing about getting a lawyer and eviction. Tenants who could not afford their rent kept their housing in 91% of the cases. So you kept your housing in 91% of the cases with the help of a lawyer, okay? In comparison, 51% of the tenants, so 51% lost their houses. 91% didn't lose their houses. So if you have a lawyer, you have a 91% chance of staying in your house. If you don't have a lawyer, you got a 50-50 chance, okay, of legal representation. And the legal representation for this is free. You have free legal representation. Okay, how do you find that? Okay, one place is to go to, it'll come, we're searching up there. My RAM, my computer RAM is looking for that word. And it's funny, sometimes I feel it falls out the back of my head. I see a whole bunch of words back there after I do a video. But no, if you go to just, J-U-S-T, shelter, SHELTER.com, so you go to justshelter.com. He's older and may be able to reach many here. You stayed at 50%. Under 29% of the households on welfare have earned income. Well, that's on, I'm not sure what you call welfare. There's 4 or 5 programs for lower income people. And that income could go up to $70,000. So I don't know what low income is anymore. It is successful. He wouldn't need you to if he was successful. Yeah, no, I feel I'm not successful. I've been doing this for 50 years, and I still have to keep educating people about what's out there for them. So you have to do work on your part to get it. So you go to needy, no, not needy meds. You want to go to Just Shelter, JUSTSHELTER.org. All the good stuff is on .org or .gov. If you're going to go to .com, they're going to get money from you. So you want to go to justshelter.org. And in there, they'll have local sources. And the local sources will be all the free lawyers for housing. Now, there's another place too, findhelp.org. If you go to findhelp.org, put in your zip code. Now, I put in my zip code. Actually, I put in the zip code for Portland. Okay, so Portland is talking about they have help, free legal help. If you want to find more, see, there's always more. And you can find more, you go to findhelp.org, put in your zip code. And for Portland, there are 58 organizations that give free legal help, okay? Free legal help for rent, okay? or actually to pay rent. Oh, this is for the paying rent, right? So besides the one program that they're promoting here in this article, there's 58 other programs to help you pay rent, okay? And so that's why you have to know about those things, because they're not gonna tell you about them. You have to find out about them. So you have to find out about them, and the way you do it is go to findhelp.org, put in your zip code, and then there's two things. You want to put in rent, and you find all the people that will help you with rent in your zip code, and you put in legal, and then you'll find all the people helping. And for legal, man, you could have 100, 200 organizations that give you free legal help for almost anything. So we don't know much about those things because they don't advertise. See, what you're looking at is things that are advertised, and things that are advertised on Google, and anything advertised on Google, they want to get money from you. So you can't rely on Google unless you have money. So that's why you got to get out of Google, or if you want to get out of debt. You're not going to get out of debt by using Google. Even the people that say you help you get out of debt, they're taking money from you. So don't do that. Please, please, please don't do that. Okay, now here, talking about scammers, there's an increase in scamming out there. It's incredible. And this article from the Consumer Federation of America, and I have all these links in the description. And so in the chat on Let's Go Help, I have all the links there. And if you're watching on YouTube, I have all the links in YouTube too. So it says that Americans lost over $16 billion in scams and fraud prevented online last year, according to the FBI. And nearly $5 billion of that, so a third of it, was from seniors. Really, the scamming on the internet, is big on seniors. The amount lost increased 33% from the year before. So scamming on the internet is increasing. You're going to get more and more scams because people with AI and all this stuff, here the bigger ones are technical support scams. Like, no, I gotta fix your computer because it's not wrong. Extortion scams. I don't know, they take a picture of you or something. I don't understand. Phishing scams, okay? That increased almost 300%. Identity theft increased 40%. So the scammers out there, okay? Now, why are there scammers? There's a big report. You could go to this website, Consumer Fed, let's see, it's called scam, consumerfed.org, consumerfed.org, and ask for the report on scams, and it's free. You download it, and here's why you're getting scammed more, and I get it all the time. I get people, hey, what are you doing today? I get a chat from them or a text on my phone. I don't know who the hell, and it's from some zip code or area code that's probably in Mars or somewhere. And actually, don't forget that, what's very popular is that there's a country out somewhere that hijacks people on airlines and everything and keeps them as prisoner to scam people. And they have this prison where people are held, and they have to scam people every day on the internet. Hey, you want to go out tonight? Or whatever the hell they do. So text-based tools are one of the reasons why we have so many scams. So including chat box, so you talk to somebody, it's not really people. It's just, so they don't have to hire anybody to scam you. The AI does it. Follow a rapid content creation without obvious spelling and grammar errors. Consistent and personalized messages and scripts for robocalls and email. See, all this is automated now. Image generation tools. Now you can get an image generator of anything. I just did a video, a picture of Donald Trump losing in court. It was a great picture. I get a picture of me doing something, and they know me on the internet because I guess I'm allowed in places where AI could find pictures of me and give you a picture of me doing something, picking my nose or whatever. You could do anything. Famous people are endorsing products that they never even heard of. So you get a picture of LeVon James endorsing some product, or some rock singer endorsing your product because they just copy the image. It's easy. And they're out scamming you. That's a voice generation tools allow scammers to impersonate loved ones or government authorities, government authorities, bypass voice verification, and escalate romance scams. How do you like that? They're big apparently. Romance scams. A lot of lonely people out there. That's what's going on. Video generation tools like deep fakes are now used in celebrity and government impersonation, extortion schemes, and tech support fraud. Okay, these scams existed forever, and a whole host of new technologies are making them easier to execute. Beyond AI, there is an under-regulated tech across the entire anatomy of scams. So they're a smart people. They're not dumb, the scammers. And here's the kind of money that people are losing. Investment scams, over $1 billion, almost $2 billion. Tech support scams, $1 billion. Confidence and romance scams, half $1 billion. That's $1 billion. Business email compromise scams, again, $500 million. Personal data breach, $250 million. Government impersonation, $200 million. $200 million. So all these, for Americans over 60, $4.8 billion was lost last year from cybercrime, with much of that money lost to scams focused on investment, tech support, romance scams, impersonation, threats of violence, and more. Reported complaints of phishing when a text or email attempts to get you to click on something. And generative AI and the tops of technology behind ChatGPT, 11 Labs, Sora, and other content creator machines is one of the many types of technologies that facilitate the rise and scale of accuracy and plausibility of scams perpetrated by text, phone calls, email. I talked something yesterday about business grant scams. There's so many of them. And I ran into somebody who he doesn't realize it yet, but he is scammed. They say, we're going to give you $1,000. And then they said, we have to give somebody else $10,000 said they're going to give you. But somebody else gets a $1,000 commission. So we got to pay them. So if you could come up with $1,000, you could get your $10,000. Wow, what an involved thing. See, people will go through, and people fall for it. You won't. If you see it happening, it means it's working. So the only things that don't work, you'll never see. Okay, so the things you see that are scam are all working because they are successful. Okay, here's what to do for consumers. Report your experience. That's the most important thing. Now, there are the FBI and the Federal Trade Commission or your local police all do that. Okay, so you could go to FBI, Federal Trade Commission. They all have scam websites. FBI does, and the FTC, Federal Trade Commission. Another one to do, I think is better, is your state, because your state Attorney General's office, they're the main people, the government office on your state that is making sure that you don't get cheated. And that's your state Attorney General's office. Now, to find them, you go to this report. I think I have it in here. Evictions, utility. Why don't I have these scanned? Oh, here it is. Yeah, NAAG.org. That's for National Association of Attorney Generals. NAAG.org. So you go there, find your state, and make a complaint. Every state office for the Attorney General there has a place that you could complain, and particularly for identity theft and things like that, or if they take money from you. because there may be ways. It's hard, but the first thing you want to do, you learn, is call your bank that they got the money from. They may be able to do something. So you call that bank first if they got money from you, or your credit card, however they scammed you out of that money. Stay aware of current scams and bad practices. People like AARP Scam Watch, Better Business Bureau Scam Tracker, and National Consumer League's fraud.org, okay? Scam forum on Reddit. So Reddit has a scam forum. Talk about it with others. Discussing scams will help you too with other people. Be wary of opportunities that sound too good to be true, or if they are unexpectedly. When in doubt, independently contact the company, the organization, the individual. Communication. Oh, it's hard to do that, because these people are so good at covering who they are. They always have an answer for any serious question you have. So that's why you can't even bother talking to them. You just gotta hang up and bite the bullet, and believe me, you're not gonna lose anything by doing anything like that. Okay, here are utility bills. There's another bill that's people are not applying. Down in Virginia, they're trying to give out money, $650 to people who can't pay their water and sewage, sewer, S-E-W-E-R, sewers bill, okay? That people don't realize, and they can't give out the money. This is a city council down there. They're sitting on all this money. They say only like 20% is gone. People are not applying for it. I mean, $650 is not a lot, but boy, if you have a $650 bill and you have trouble paying for it, that is a lot. And that's a lot to a lot of people now, because we have more poor people now in this country than any other developed country in the world. We have more poor people. Let me say that again. We have more poor people in America now than any other country in the world. I mean, that's incredible to me. Why the hell does that happen in America? Because somebody's cheating. And that's what's happening. It wouldn't be a much nicer place for everybody. Well, welcome. Hi, Amber. Hi, everybody. Amber's here. Good. I don't know if LifeLock can stop all of this free support. Keep the credit and personal data clean. Yeah, don't know. I mean, now what's happening is, the problem is with Doge wants you to give all your government data, please. That's not even the credit card people. Unfortunately, yes, there was a small business grant scams. Yeah, I got a picture of Biden and Trump making Thanksgiving goodies. See, isn't that right? That's cool. The work it takes to scam someone you could be helping. That's true, but people don't want to do legitimate stuff, I guess, so that you have to outsmart them or just not be attracted to them. And that's it. But utility assistance, if you have utilities, let's go back to, okay, the person okay, right, here it is. In Oregon, that had, couldn't pay rent, and there's free rent programs that they just, they're putting more money into rent because more people can't pay their rent, and they're going, being foreclosed and being evicted and stuff like that. So their zip code, I'm going to put in find help. Findhelp.com. So I'm going to put findhelp.com. Oh, I guess I have to spell it right. Findhelp.org. That's why I didn't spell it right. Okay, and put in the zip code out in Oregon there is 97035. Now I'm going to put in utilities. Okay, now when I put in rent for out in Portland, there was 58 organizations that help people pay for rent. So I put in utilities and see what's there. See what's in Oregon for utilities. 90 organizations in Oregon, in Portland, that help people pay utilities. That's why you have to do the work to get the help. Help isn't handed on a plate. Well, it is in a way, because we have, 40% of everything in our country gives money and help to people who are in trouble. 40% of everything on the internet. That's not true, because it's 40% of the economy. So if you have all the organizations in America, 40% of all those organizations, oh, thank you, Stevie, little tip. Thank you, that's awfully sweet of you. Don't get that one. 40% of our economy are organizations that help give you free money and help to have a better life. That's right. So that's why I don't know why people are so pissed off in America. We have 40% of everything in America is there to help you. You don't have to have money to get help. That's what it's there for. It starts with your fireman who comes and puts out fire for free. But it's not only that. We built this country of thousands. I mean, I estimate there's 600,000 just in find help alone. Then I imagine there's another 20% that people don't. So we can have up to 800,000 organizations that all they do in life is give free money and help to other Americans, okay? That's all they do. But see, you don't know that. They don't advertise. You can't find them. And we run to Google and we won't find them in Google. So you can't do that. Because Google is great if you have money. If you don't have money, you really have to stay away from Google. You're just going to get scammed or pay for something you didn't have to. So please don't do that, whether you use me or not. And a good place to start is that findhelp.org. Now, we just said there's 90 organizations in just Portland that give out free money for rent. There's 60 organizations, 90 organizations was for utility. There's 60 organizations just for rent. And that's true, numbers like that, all over, no matter what it is. So you could go to findhelp.org. You don't have to give me any money at all, because this is brought to you by America, not brought to you by Lesko. Lesko is lescohelp.com. And if you want us to help you with that, that's what we do. We have 25,000 members. That's all they do is help other members get the help and money they need to solve problems and grow in life. You want to buy a house. Well, on the left-hand side, if you're a member and watching me now, on the member, look on the left-hand side for a tab called Unlock My Goals. And if you go to that tab, Unlock My Goals, you'll find like 5 or 6 other tabs on most of the problems that people have, like paying all your bills and expenses and debt, like getting rid of that. We have a report there, and it's more than a report. It's a step-by-step guide for you to follow to get out of debt and pay your bills and get out of that credit card stuff and all that. And it's all right there. Who to call where you live, what to say, everything is step by step. It's not magic. Now you have to take that, make the call. If you're not making calls, you're not getting help, okay? They're not gonna come to you. There's not gonna be a guy on a white horse at the door tomorrow morning. Hey, I'm here to solve your problem. No, you gotta find them. And it's not easy because you haven't been trained this way. All you know is Google. So you're going there and you'll never find it in Google. And you'll get pissed off because you can't find anybody to help you. Everyone wants money or hangs up on you. No. And then you'll go, oh, okay, you call a government office and they don't know where it is. No, the government's so big. No one government office knows all the government offices. That's crazy. I grew up in 4 of us in the house. Just in one house, 4 people. I had no idea what the hell the other 3 people were doing. And then actually my house was 5 where I grew up. I was thinking of my family that I grew. I had 2 boys. So that was the 4 of us. And that's what we were doing. Good morning, Matthew. Thank you, Martha. Charles. Oh, hi, Charles. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, Charles, I think you're in Atlanta somewhere. Okay, go to findhelp.org, put in your zip code, and put in utilities and start calling those people. And even the people that don't, that aren't for you, because maybe you're not a veteran or something, you talk to them anyway and ask them where else to go. They're the organizations or the people that are most likely to know where you should be inquiring about. Not perfectly, nobody knows the perfect answer. Then we wouldn't have to do any work if we were all perfect, but none of us are. So it takes work on you narrowing it down by doing the work yourself and finding out where these organizations are. You call the ones that you can find, and then you ask them where else to go. They're going to be the best position to know where else to go, because it's different in every city, state, whatever, that's there. So where do we get on my listing? Okay, we're at utilities. Oh, here's something you should do. I found out, Doge is now, I think he's gonna have something, Elon Musk with the White House, and he's gonna be, I think it's his last day as a government official or working for the government or whatever. So he's gone, but Doge stuff is still around. And I was looking for something that was sort of non-biased. It's hard to find non-biased stuff anymore. So you have to be leery of anything, and I don't know if anything is non-biased. But here's a report from the BBC. The BBC, I listen to them a lot because I find out about world news, what's going on. Our life isn't only America anymore. It's all over the world. And so I enjoy finding out. I lived in Scotland for a couple of years, but I was in the Navy, but I played golf for 2 years in Scotland, basically what it was. Me in an office at the airport in Scotland, I was a diplomatic courier, and there were only 4 of us. We had our own, we didn't even have a Navy base. We just lived on the economy and worked at the office and delivered packages with guns. No, the guns weren't in the packages. We carried guns to deliver the mail to other military offices or embassies and stuff like that. And it was sort of cool, but at your early 20s, I wanted to get on my life, and I knew it wasn't going to be in the Navy forever. Mr. Lesko, I need $5,000 cash. Okay, you gotta work at it, and the best way, you have to know what you need it for. But if you don't know what you need it for, the first thing to do is make an appointment with a free financial counselor, okay? Free financial counselor, because they may even not only show you how to maybe get rid of that debt and other ways to do this. You don't do it, all you know, you have a debt, so you need money and that's it. But there's a lot of gray areas in between, and you want to learn those gray areas in between, so you have to find experts to help you do that. And they're available for free, okay? Now, how do you find them? To me, you go to findhelp.org, and you put in your zip code, then you put in financial counseling, and you'll find 100 probably in your area that are free financial counselors. If you go to Google, you'll find 200 million, and they all want money from you. But Find Help, you'll find maybe a couple hundred, and none of them want money for you. So you tell me what's better. And that's what you do. Then you have to call. People don't like calling or whatever. So let's get back to Doge, okay? And what Doge has done, it looks like, according to the BBC, what they, and this is what I heard since the beginning, because I live in Washington, so I get this news every day. Doge, okay, Doge initially said they were going to save $2 trillion. Well, the budget is like 6 or 7 trillion, it's about like $6 trillion a year, a trillion, not a million, a trillion, not a billion, there's billion, there's million, billion, and trillion, okay? When I first started doing this 50 years ago, a billion was a lot. And it was a billion. If you spent $1,000 a day, every day since the day Christ was born, you still wouldn't have not spent $1 billion. You hear that? So we're talking about trillions. So $1 billion is $1,000 a day you spend every day since the day Christ was born. Wow, what's that? 2,000-3,000 years. That's a lot of moolah, huh? Okay, so what he said was going to do is save $2 trillion. Okay, now on his website, he says, he didn't save $2 trillion, but he saved $175 billion. Okay, not saved 2 trillion, but saved 175 billion. Okay, now the BBC went out to verify all that. They could only verify 32 billion. So this went from 2 trillion, and what is it, 100 and some days later, down to 32 billion. And that's the only thing they could verify so far. But he says it should be 175. Now, I don't know about you and Trump, but trying to have these guys, say the truth is really tough, difficult. So I'm inclined to believe the BBC before either of them. And even if whatever it is, I mean, to me, what has happened is the hurt he's caused. And you'll see it now, too, because when you call get help at the IRS or try to get help at the Social Security for your Social Security or anything like that, they're cutting staff. They're cutting staff all over the government. So the money is still there. Now you're going to have to work harder to get it because there's not people there, okay, to help you. And so that, to me, is not right. It's cruel. And you laid off, you fired like overnight people who had expertise in things like, vaccines and whatever, pollution, all these things that kill us in our country. Just sweeping the house clean of all these experts we have on staff. That if we want to solve those problems, we have to go all through training more other people for that. And all these people now are going to other countries because they're getting job offers. And also just even the veterans that were promised jobs, and now they were fired indiscriminately. In my apartment building, we have 70 apartments. There has to be a half a dozen to a dozen that lost their jobs overnight where they're working 10, 20, 30 years, at these agencies, as government employees. And that meanness is hard to swallow for me. So even if we want to get rid of people, well, there's different ways of doing that. And go Canada. Yeah, that's going to look interesting now. Actually, I just read there's more Americans filing for citizenship in England now than ever before. It's still a good place, I think, especially a guy like me. And this is where I could do more help, I think, to anybody, is show people what it is to live in America and the help that is there, no matter what person is running the place. There's still so much. I mean, what he's able to do is change it a little. Like I told you yesterday, that the changes he made, he's now losing in the courts. So he decides he's going to make a law, and then the courts to say, no, you can't do that. So he's losing 96% of those. He started at about 50% the first month, then it went up to 70%. Now this past month, he lost 90% of the court actions about what he's doing. 90%. Our trust, you bet. What about the 150 trillion on our trust? Most Americans have no knowledge of this money. I'm not sure what trust you mean. There's a lot of trust funds. I mean, we have housing trust funds. Every city has these, and a lot are using now to give grants to people to buy housing and that kind of stuff. So that's important. The trust too is, I think, a trust that nobody in the world now is going to trust us for anything, because we changed it. We don't stand by our words for anything. Who wants to come to America anymore? We were the place that we got all the smart people to grow our country because we were cool. And now we treat people like shit, right? or are supposedly friends. And that's a little tough, I think, to take. Thanks. Oh, the tax trust. No. Is that, you mean the debt? I mean, what they estimate, that's another thing I think Doge should work on, is people who are not paying their taxes. There's $1 trillion of people who don't pay their taxes every year. $1 trillion. That's like 20% of our budget every year. and people aren't paying that. Okay, that's what we should be after, not people who need the money to pay for food. And most of these people are rich people, just ignoring and getting away with murder over there. And they're cutting that down. So we can't even collect the money that people owe us because they have no employees that do that. We fired them all. National debt isn't even 2 times our cash flow. Right, I think that's about right. I think Japan just got there. I think Japan is now 2 times. So that's why they're in trouble, yeah. But we're on our way. We'll be there. How do we get our taxes we owe forgiven? Go to irs.gov, and let me get that, irs.gov. There's 2 places to go. One is Taxpayer Advocate, okay? irs.gov, and then Taxpayer Advocate, okay? And you want to make an appointment. That's why you always got to call it. So it's going to be hard because there's less people there, but you got to hang in there. You've probably had this tax thing for years, right? So what the hell, you're going to wait a couple hours or a couple days or whatever. You got to tackle it and do it. So irs.gov, Taxpayer Advocate, because there's 2 programs you may be able to do. And they will, and then we have offer, irs.gov, offer in compromise. irs.gov, then offer in compromise. Oh, it says I didn't spell it right. Well, I know that. I thought you were smart. You gotta get a better AI. Offer and compromise, pre-qualifier. Okay, here it is. Offer and compromise. So you have two things, and I do them both. Always more than one, and don't count on any one thing working. Even you keep looking for other things, even though one is working. Okay. Tammy has it in the chat. Okay, thank you. Okay, did I finish all my items? Don't forget, I have links to all the things I've been talking about. They're in the description on YouTube below, and also in the chat in Let's Go Help. Scams entries, legal help for evictions, on utilities, Dodge credit score. Okay, this is interesting. There is a great organization called consumerfinance.org. It was started in the government after the market crash. And it was really great because it helped consumers with anybody messing with your money, your credit card people, your finance people. You can't fight those people. I mean, they have so much, they're so big in money. You know, the average person can't. And this was an organization that would fight for you if you had a problem, and they're still there, but I want to tell you, they're not the same since Trump is here. He's trying to get rid of them because all his rich friends don't like him. These people that are trying to, because they want to, regulate more of these fat cats that are playing with our money. So that's why he's trying to get rid of it. And what happened right before Biden, I think the last couple of months of Biden what he did is and they did it with the consumerfinance.org. You could go there now and see it. It's there. It's supposed to handle any questions, and there was a great way to handle any question. They handled it right away, and they answered in 2 days. But now they're so back because they fired everybody. They just came in one day, and everybody had to go home. Now it's fighting in the courts. So the courts said they can't do that, so they didn't bring anybody back. So they're just going to drag their feet and do it. But in the meantime, you don't have that source. But what they did, now this is a little tricky, because one of the things they did right before Trump left, and before Biden, in the last months of Biden, he came and this agency did this, was to forgive, like all the medical debt would not be in your credit report. So no medical debt would be in your credit report. And that was for 15 million people. got an average of 20 points increased in their credit score because they took off medical debt. Because what your credit score is determined if you buy a house, buy a car, and all these kinds of things. So it really screwed up people. And you know, for medical debt, that's not, you didn't go on a cruise and wind up in debt. No, you try to stay alive. That's a IRS and ask them for offer and compromise. Oh, good. Thank you, Martha. So in consumer finance, now they said they're still answering complaints, but I see there's 16,000 complaints behind. So I think using them for a complaint is not good. So who they were there to complain against your bank, against your credit card company. They had a database of all the complaints too, so you could see who's a good guy, who's a bad guy, and all that stuff. Wonderful data and wonderful help for a consumer. That is gone. Okay. Now I don't know that not having your medical debt on your credit score, they're trying to reverse that. So what the consumer finance now is trying to get out of doing that. And they're, I think, in the court now. So that may not be on your, that may turn up on your credit card again. So if you it wiped out, then you're gonna increase your credit by 20 points. And it's nothing you did. So that's just to be aware of. Now, where do you go for problems like this? If you have problems with your credit card company, you have problems with your bank, you have problems with your, like the person with you have a automobile loan with you, they are still regulated, but at your state. See, this was a national place that was going, but, and that's why it is at the state level. Now, everybody is regulated at the state. Your dry cleaner is regulated. You know, so if they mess up your question mark suit, where do you complain? Do you hire an attorney? No, you go to where they get a license and that you tell them about this dry cleaner screwing you over. The dry cleaner will get a notice and will give you what you want because the dry cleaner will be out of business if they don't have a license. So you have more power dealing with a state agency over any organization. Let's see, I want to go tiny. I think I have a free report on all that. And I want to give you a free report so you find out all the organizations in your state that will help you for free to get justice, okay? Now, so that now that you don't have consumer finance anymore. Let's see, legal tax sheet, unclaimed home, forgiveness, car, gigs. Okay, here you go, Joe. Here we go, Joe. Okay, what do you know, Joe? Okay, what'd you do with my felt pen, huh? What'd you do with that? No, I've been. Come on, I had it right here. What did you do? You take it? Who took that felt pen? Okay. What you want to do is tiny, TinyURL.com. Oh, this is terrible. Let's go legal. LESKOLEGAL. Oh, that's terrible. TinyURL.com. Let's go legal. Oh, you're not going to see that, are you? No, let me see. Hold on, I'll be right back in a second. Ah, here it is. Okay. I knew it was here. Okay. Yeah, download this report because this report has, like 40, 50 organizations in your state that will give you free legal help. And they're better than any lawyer, okay? Because they could put them out of business. The lawyers for companies are too big. They know all this stuff all the time. They can't fight the government because the government lets them be business. Okay, this is better, isn't it? tinyurl.com/letsgolegal. tinyurl.com/letsgolegal. And that, everything, so they have you, and your attorney general's there. Now, that's a backup, always your attorney general, particularly if you have maybe got on consumer fraud or you lost, your identity theft and all this kind of stuff. When in doubt, you could use both too. You do more people. Once you write a complaint, you just send it all over. That's what you do. Lexington Law Firm is great for helping with bad credit. Well, do they charge money? Will, I don't know. Are there any benefits that I can get if I make a lot of money? Yes, yes. Look at Elon Musk. He gets $8 million a year from the government. Now, I think he has a lot of money. It's been told anyway. Yes, the rich people use the hell out of this stuff. 80% of the money that's given out has no income requirements at all. If you're not working right now, you could get, I got 10 grand. Take some class so you can get a better job. Things like that. It's there. Of course, you have to say, forbid that they get sick in America and healthcare system wrongly operated on them too. Don't understand that one. But yeah, that legal help is there for everybody. Right, and legal help too. That's how I have learned this. I was working for millionaires. I go around and get all this stuff for them. I give them money to start businesses or legal help. They want to do a what do they call it? A raffle or things like that. And so you could call the government and talk to the people who wrote the laws about running a raffle or whatever it is, giving away prizes. And you don't have to hire an attorney or accountant. Why hire an attorney or accountant to learn the law for you when you could talk to somebody for free who wrote the law? Now that's crazy. Yeah, and it's crazy, particularly if you don't have money. But all we know is Google. That's what we're trained to do. How can I learn how to do grants in Utah County? I will need a little extra help due to TBI. What's TBI, Carrie? Tuberculosis, is that it? You don't need help with the grant. You need help finding the right grant to apply to. Never worry about filling out an application. Unless you're after really big money, you need millions or hundreds of thousands. But if it's living or small business and traumatic brain injury, okay. Yeah, you don't worry about it. Don't worry about the application because most of them will help you fill out the application. The hard part of this, and you never want to hire a grant writer until you see the application because they're not going to be much. You don't have to worry about it. The hard part is finding the right one to apply to, Carrie. And that's the key. And so if you live in Utah, the first thing I would do, Carrie, is go over to the left-hand side. Carrie's a member. If you are not members and we're listening to me helping Carrie, who's a member, I got to go to the left-hand side. And over there is a tab called Unlock My Goals. Okay? So you go to that tab and click on Bills and Debt. Okay? You want to do that first. I want to be a grant writer, okay? You have to learn about grants, okay? Well, start getting them yourself, and then you'll see how it is. I guess you need money yourself. So start learning yourself by finding the right ones for you to start applying. But first, I would do this, is go on the left-hand side and find the tab for Unlock My Goals. And when you find that, what you want to do is follow that, and the first thing there is to make an appointment with a free financial counselor. So to get your money, and your debts and your credit card stuff, all that straightened out, okay? And they're all free, so you want to do that first, okay? Now, what do you want to be a grant writer, okay? You can. I think, okay, you want to be a grant writer. See, being a grant writer, what people think when they have grant writers is not filling out the application. they think a grant writer will find the applications. So there's two different things, and what you think as a grant writer. Finding the application and filling out the application. So if you want to be a person who just fills out applications, or you want to be a person that finds applications. And if you want to be either, and you just want to start a business, or as a freelancer, you don't have to have an office or anything, you could do this yourself. And what you do is make it up, look on the left-hand side. I want to learn how to do all the help other. Okay, well, I think the way to learn is start getting them for yourself. You get them for yourself before you say that you're good at this. You should try a few yourself and learn how to get it yourself. And you don't need money to do that. We'll just point you in the direction. And that's why look on the left-hand side. After you make an appointment, then you start to find out help to pay for other things in your life, whether it's your rent, utilities, and things like that. And you start investigating the sources that are there. If you go also on the left-hand side, there's a tab called Let's Go Reports. So Let's Go Reports on the left-hand side. See that, because there you'll see two reports that you want to download right now. One is called the Let's Go Meta, M-E-T-A, Grant Report. Let's Go Meta Grant Report. And the other one is 500 mini grants. So if you download the 500 mini grants report, but I'm on my phone, and that is my, yeah. If you need a laptop, Carrie, you could, we're giving away 30 laptops. You could apply by the 30th of the month at midnight, the 30th of this month. You could apply for one of our free laptops. Or you go to findhelp.org. Go to findhelp.org and put in your zip code, and then put in computer, and you'll find local nonprofit organizations that give out free laptops. We give out too. I'm not seeing it on my phone. Is why, right? Okay, that would. So apply to ours over on the left-hand side, Carrie. We have the 4 grants that we have, and one there is for the laptops. And be happy to take your application, maybe get a free laptop. But make sure you also go to findhelp.org and put in your zip code. What is your zip code, Carrie? What is your zip code? What is it now? What is your zip code? Are you a holy cow? I'm not sure. Thank you, sir. Okay, 84005. Okay, I'm gonna go to Find Help and put in 84005. 84005. Findhelp.org, and then put in 84005. Okay, now put in computer. Okay, there's 40 organizations that give out free computers and computer learning stuff and things like that. So they could point you to somewhere locally. Again, you have to start calling. Nothing's gonna happen unless you start calling, okay? So please start calling. Eagle Mountain, Utah, okay? Okay, there it is. Look at that. And follow up. You have to follow up. Nothing's gonna happen for you unless you start making phone calls. And that's what this whole thing about in life is. Calling people and asking for help. Remember, 40% of the people in America have jobs that are there to give you money. 40% of America have jobs that are there to give you money or free services. And you have to find them. They don't advertise. The people who want to get money from you, they advertise, and they're on Google. And that's 60%, but the 40% that gives you money don't advertise. So you have to find them. You have to talk to them and start learning the system. That's why we only charge $20 a month, so that you have a place to come and keep learning, keep learning, keep learning. This is something new, and that's what. What you on, my man? I'm on a chair. It's a black chair. So, what are you on? I'm on a chair. Well, you think I'm standing? I'm not that small. Yes, he is. So many fond memories of this man's impeccable. Oh, thank you, sir. You ever? Oh, let's see. Wait, what is this? The dude from the night? Yeah, that's me. I used to do the infomercials. Yeah. Okay, guys. So remember, I'll be here for about 10 more years. And if you want to join us, okay, here it is. letsgohelp.com. It's $20 and you get unlimited free help to apply to every government program that you're eligible for. And there's over 600 to 800,000 people that are giving out free money. You got to find them, and they're not in Google. Because they're probably in Google, but you'll never find them because you'll find 200 million others. And this is just a small little tiny fraction of that. So you don't find the people giving away free money. So that's why we're here, to show you how to use the part of America that loves you. They show you love by giving money to help you solve your problems, by giving you money to help you with a better life. And that's what love is, helping someone else do what they want to do in life. And that's what our members are. We have 25,000 members that are all here to help you find the help you need to have a better life. It's there in America. They just don't advertise, and you don't know where it is. So let us help you. I mean, and if you don't have money, I understand. You can go to findhelp.org and start there. Okay? Talk to you later. Thank you, Carrie. That goes a long way.